Okay, I believe we are live now in the DSD. Thank you everyone who's joining us today. This is another DSD webinar series organized by me, and I'm inviting the co-founder of Scholarcy.com, which is Emma, all the way from London. How are you, Emma?
Hi, I'm good, thanks, Anita.
Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to do this, because when I heard about Scholarcy having updates, so definitely some of the subscribers in the SD would need to know what's going on, right? What's new, what's the latest features in Scholarcy. So I would like to just invite you and talk us through it, and let us know, what's going on so far. Okay, go ahead, Emma.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to share my screen. And I'm just going to bring up a few slides quickly, and then I'll go into a demo of the new app.
Okay, there you go.
So yes, and thank you everyone for joining today. It's great to have you all here. So yeah, I'm co-founder at Scolarcy. And as you probably know, we launched our app a couple of years ago. And I know that many of you have been using it and giving us lots of feedback, which is great. And we've combined all of that feedback, and over the past 6 months, we've been working on a new design and a new user experience that I'm going to show you today. So we just wanted to take all of the comments and the feedback that we've had from our users and integrate that into the new app, just to make it more intuitive, easier to use, and give you new ways to upload content. So the new app's going to be launching on the 20th of April, so next Tuesday, which we're very excited about. And I just want to give you really just a 20-minute demo of what that's going to look like and how the new features are going to work. And as I say, what we've really tried to do is create a new design that's going to be more visually appealing to you, but also most importantly, make all of the features obvious and easier to use. So what's going to be changing? Well, you're going to get a clearer view of your libraries and summary flashcards, and we'll talk about that in a moment. You'll get easier organization of your libraries and summaries, so you can move things around more easily, create libraries and folders more easily, and it's going to be easier for you to locate information within Scholarcy. There's now more ways that you can upload content, so we'll talk about that in a moment. You can edit your summaries now, so you can edit highlights and summaries, and again, I'll take you through that. And it's even easier now to share and export your summaries. So with that, I'm just going to take you straight into a demo. Yeah, Anita, can you see my screen?
Yes, very clearly, Emma. Go ahead.
Great, okay. So the first thing that we've done is to improve the navigation and make that more simplified and more straightforward. So the screen that you see here is of my library's homepage, and you can see that I've got a few libraries already created here. And if I want to get back to this view of my libraries, I just hit the home button at any time. And I can also navigate to each of my individual libraries using the My Libraries drop-down. So if I want to get into biomedical, I just hit that in the drop-down and I'm in that library. Shared libraries, which has been a feature of the app up to now, we've made that clearer. So you can navigate directly to shared libraries on the navigation pane. And here you can see that someone shared a couple of libraries with me. And I can also see, if I flip to this pane, I can see the libraries that I've shared with other people. So I don't have any at the moment, but that just enables me to keep a record of the libraries I've shared with other people. And if I click this button, I can see that I've got viewing rights, but I don't have editing rights. So if I want to request editing rights, then I can do that here. And then in deleted documents, these are all the summary flashcards that I've deleted from my current libraries. I can empty all of those by hitting the empty trash here. And if there's any that I want to get back, I can just hit this restore button here, and that's going to take the flashcard straight back to the original library that it was in. So we've cleaned up the profile page, so it makes it very obvious how many days are left on your current subscription. You can easily reset your password, and you can also download a backup file of all of your Scohlarcy data. In terms of settings, there's 3 different settings. So there's the import settings, and here you can change the length of the summary that you see. You can change the number of key highlights, and you can determine whether or not you want to extract figures and tables when you upload a paper. And then in view, so this is the flashcard view, you can turn on and off auto highlighting and Wikipedia links. And within the library, you can determine which columns you see. So if I just show you quickly, you can see in my biomedical library, I've got title, author, headline, date added, and year. And I can change any of those here. So I could turn off date added, for example. I could turn off the headline summary, and I can also turn on the number of citations that article's received if I want to. And then in terms of export, so as you know, you can export your summary flashcards to Word and Excel. And here you can turn on and off some of the aspects of the summary flashcard that you see in the export. So if you're not really interested in exporting the abstract, I can just turn that off here. And then this is just your subscription page. This lets you change card information if that's applicable, and it lets you easily cancel your subscription. And as always, you can contact us via support, which you've been doing a lot of, which is great, and we love to hear from you. So as ever, that's exactly the same, and you can contact us just by hitting the support link. So I'm going to show you the new flashcard structure. So I'm just going to go into my biomedical library here. And I'm just going to select this flashcard about Parkinson's disease. So the overall structure of the flashcards very similar to what you had before. You'll see that the design is different and there's more functionality. But in terms of structure, you'll see all of the tabs that you saw before. You'll still get a link back to the original article at the top of the flashcard. And you'll still get a headline summary, so a very brief snapshot here of what the paper's about. And if you want to quickly expand and collapse all of the tabs in the summary flashcard, you can just hit this button at the top right here. And as before, you'll get links to key concepts, to definitions of key concepts within each of the section summaries. You'll get links to cited sources as before, and you'll see highlights of important points and key contributions within the summary. So one thing that you can do now is edit the key concepts. So you can see here I've got a number of key concepts that have been extracted from the paper. And if I hit the edit button here, if some of these aren't particularly useful to me, I can just hit that minus sign and delete them. And as you know, all of the links from key concepts currently go to Wikipedia, but I can also edit the destination of those links. So if you want to change any of these Wikipedia links to another source, another online source, then you can just edit that here. And you can also add your own key concepts if there's others that you want to add here and create links for. And then always with any of this editing, you just hit the save button and that'll have saved all your changes. So the other thing that you can do now is edit Scohlarcy highlights. So usually you see 5 or 6 key highlights here, depending on how you've set it up in your own settings. And again, if I hit the edit button here, I can delete any of these key highlights. So if they're not relevant or particularly useful, I can just hit the delete button here. I can edit any of them, so I can add any text that I want within this pane. And I can also add my own highlights. So I can add completely new, any number of new highlights.
I think this is quite an interesting feature, Emma, to be able to edit the highlights, because there are sometimes when you read the paper and you want to add something.
Yes.
Right? So this is very useful. Thank you.
Yeah, and currently, obviously, you've got the note feature, but that's not changing the text that you see in the summary flashcard. So this just gives you more control and ownership over what you're seeing in the summary flashcard.
Yep.
And similarly, you can edit the Scohlarcy summary. So again, if I expand that, this is the structured summary. It gives you a short summary of each of the sections of the paper. And again, if I just hit edit, I can delete any of those sections of text, edit them, or add my own. So then, as before, you can extract any tabular data to Excel. So you can just download by hitting this button here or here. And with figures, if you've turned on figure extraction in the settings, then you'll see all of those here, and you can get an enlarged view just by clicking on that figure there. And also, as before, with references, you'll see all of the references from the paper or the chapter, and you can download those either to a RIS file to import into your reference management tool, or you can download directly to Zotero. And the other thing I just wanted to show you in this view is that it's really easy now to move and export any of your summary flashcards. So if I click on this move and export button, I get 2 options, either to move documents or export. I'm just going to select move, and I'm going to move this flashcard into my new research folder and hit move. And so that's moved it here into this new research folder. And similarly, exporting is very easy. So I just hit, sorry, let me go back into the flashcard. So I just hit the move and export button again, and I can export. And it gives me a range of options to export to. So I can export to Word, RIS, or Excel, and then just hit export selected. So the next thing I'm going to show you is the slightly different way that you can upload documents into Scohlarcy now. So again, I'm going to go into my biomedical library, and all I need to do to upload any document into Scohlarcy is hit this import button here at the top right. And when I do that, I get this dialog box pop up, and it gives me a number of different options for importing. So I can upload via web resources, I can drag and drop or browse my own folders, but also now I can paste plain text in and summarize that. So if I just expand upload via web resources, This gives me the option of either pasting a URL, for example, from an open access paper in here, and then I can just hit import and it'll summarize it in the same way that it would if I upload a file. But then I've also got the option of uploading from Google Drive or Dropbox. So today I'm going to select a file from Google Drive. And just going to select the folder. Again, as before, if you want to upload an entire folder of papers, you can do that. It takes slightly longer, but you can certainly do that from either Google Drive or Dropbox. So I'm going to pick this paper here. And you can see the little glowing bar at the top, and that just indicates that the paper's being uploaded. And as before, that usually takes a few seconds to process the paper and generate a summary flashcard. And you can see it's popped in at the top there. The other way of importing papers or chapters is that I can drag or drop into this pane here, or I can just click on this pane and select a paper from a local file. So I'm going to choose this one on Parkinson's disease here. Just double click that and then hit the upload file button. And as before, that's just going to process that in a few seconds and generate the summary flashcard. So now you can also paste plain text in and summarize that. So I've got an article open here about smoking and Parkinson's disease, and I've just selected the text and I'm going to paste that. So you can paste up to 5,000 characters. So I've pasted that in here, hit upload. And that's generated a Scohlarcy summary of the text that I pasted in. So it's very similar to what you'd see from a paper. You get a number of key concepts. You get the highlights as usual, and you get a longer summary. And it doesn't really matter what the text is. You could paste from one of your own files, from a Word document, and you're going to get this structured Scohlarcy summary. So that's upload. Did you have any questions on that, Anita, just before I move on?
Right, it looks like a number of more useful features for me, yeah, because I am also currently using Scohlarcy. And especially I think it's user friendly in the sense of the layout. You know, it's easier to find things, I believe. So yeah, I will use this whole week and let you know if I have any further questions. But it looks like it has more, and then it's easier as compared to the previous version. Yeah.
Great, okay. So I'm now just going to show you how it's easier to organize your summaries and libraries within Scohlarcy. So again, I've come back to home here and you can see the libraries that I've already created. But if I wanted to create a new library, I just hit on this Create Library button here. And that generates a new library at the bottom of my list of libraries. And then I can change the name here and just hit enter to save. And then within a new library, if I want to structure my work more, structure my research more into folders, then I just hit the Create Folder button at the top right again here. And that generates a new folder. And again, I can just change the name of that here and hit enter. And then within that new folder, obviously there's no summaries at the moment, but I can start populating that straight away, either by hitting the import button and doing any of the actions that I showed you earlier, or by hitting the RSS feed button. I can paste in a link to an RSS feed here, and then hit subscribe. And then as before, that folder is just going to populate with summary flashcards of papers from that RSS feed. The other thing that I can do is move flashcards very easily from one library to another. So if I go into my biomedical library, and I'm going to select Move and Export and hit Move Documents. And this is going to give me checkboxes next to all of my summary flashcards. So I'm going to select these 4 and hit Move Selected. And I'm going to move those to my new library. And then if I go back into my new library, I'll see those 4 summary flashcards. The other thing that's now really handy is that I can quickly reorder any of my articles. So if I hit this Reorder Articles button, I can drag and drop. So if I had, 25 summary flashcards showing on that page, and I wanted to drag some of them to the top of the page, then that's very easy to do with this Reorder Articles button. And as always, just hit Save Changes at the bottom. And you can also reorder folders and libraries in a similar way. In terms of editing the flashcard information in the library view, I can edit any of the metadata just by clicking that little edit button there. So I can change the article name, author or date. If any of that's slightly inaccurate, then I can change that here. As before, I can add a note to a summary flashcard and hit save. And then when I export that flashcard to Word, it'll also pull in the notes as it did before. And then I can really easily just delete any of my flashcards by hitting the delete button here. And that's going to take them into this deleted document. So I can get those back if I want to. It's also easier now to search. So if you've got a lot of summary flashcards and a lot of libraries, you can just go to this global search here, and I'm going to type in Parkinson's and hit enter, and then that's going to bring up all of the articles related to Parkinson's disease across all of my libraries. And then finally, if I can get back. Oh, that's it. Yeah, finally, I just wanted to show you that it's very easy to share your library. So if you just see this little share button at the top right, I just hit that. I'm going to share that with Phil. And you can add any number of email addresses. So if you want to share with a group of people, you just add email address and then add a new one. And you can decide whether you want to give those people just viewing rights or whether you want to allow them to edit the library as well, and then hit the share button.
There was this question about when we share our library, so the subscriber must also be the premium one, right? The subscriber must be a premium subscriber.
That's right. They need to have a Scohlarcy library account. But what the invitation will also invite anyone who's currently not a subscriber to sign up as well. Yeah.
Okay. Because I do remember some students are working together with their supervisors on literature review. So this is a very handy, handy tool. Okay.
Yeah. So that's just a very quick overview of the new app. So happy to take any questions that you have.
Yeah. I believe because today is the first day of Ramadan, Emma, so maybe people will be watching this later. But
Yeah.
if there are any questions that I've heard quite many times is there are no limits to the number of papers or the number of libraries that we can create inside Scholarcy. Are there some limits to it? No, right?
There's no you know, that you can upload a large number of files at the moment, so there's no real limit to that. No.
Okay. Okay. And the other thing is about when you have uploaded the papers and then suddenly your subscription stopped and you have not renewed, the data will remain inside Scholarcy. Am I
Yes.
right? Until
Yes.
you renew. Yeah. Okay.
That's right. So if you just cancel your subscription and then restart it in a few months' time, you'll get access to all of the libraries that you had created earlier.
Right. Okay. Because there are some students who think that, okay, I may need to use it for 3 months and then come back for another 3 months later. So the data is still in there, right? So
yes,
no problem about
that's
that.
right.
Wow, thank you so much, Emma, for today's session, because I believe I will need to use it myself, and then, you know, get to know the features, because questions will come to me definitely, and I will give them the link to this video because it shows, yeah, very clearly the steps that you've given, and you know, they can actually follow through. Thank you, Emma, for your time.
All right,
I do
thank
hope,
you very much,
yeah,
Anita.
no problem.
Talk to you
Let's stay in
soon.
touch. Yeah.
Thanks. Bye.
Thanks. Thank you. Bye.